paradise. Fighting for the cause of Allah. Jihad. Bukhari. Book 4. Volume 52. Hadith 46. Narrated Abu Hurairah. I heard Allah's Apostle saying, the example of a mujahid in Allah's cause. And Allah knows better. Who really strives in his cause is like a person who fasts and prays continuously. Allah guarantees that he will admit the mujahid in his cause into paradise if he is killed, otherwise he will return him to his home safely with rewards and war booty. Bukhari. Book 4. Volume 52. Hadith 48. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, whoever believes in Allah and his Apostle, offer prayer perfectly and fast the month of Ramadan, will rightfully be granted paradise by Allah. No matter whether he fights in Allah's cause or remains in the land where he is born. The people said, O Allah's Apostle, shall we acquaint the people with this good news? He said, paradise has 100 grades which Allah has reserved for the mujahideen who fight in his cause. And the distance between each of 2 grades is like the distance between the heaven and the earth. So, when you ask Allah for something, ask for Firdaus, which is the best and highest part of paradise. That is the sub. Narrator added, I think the Prophet also said, above it that is Firdaus is the throne of beneficent that is Allah, and from it originate the rivers of paradise. Bukhari. Book 4. Volume 52. Hadith 51. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, a place in paradise as small as a bow is better than all that on which the sun rises and sets, that is all the world. He also said, a single endeavor in Allah's cause in the afternoon or in the forenoon is better than all that on which the sun rises and sets. Bukhari. Book 4. Volume 52. Hadith 53. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet said, nobody who dies and finds good from Allah in the hereafter would wish to come back to this world even if he were given the whole world and whatever is in it. Except the martyr who, on seeing the superiority of martyrdom, would like to come back to the world and get killed again in Allah's cause. Narrated Anas, the Prophet said, a single endeavor of fighting in Allah's cause in the afternoon or in the forenoon is better than all the world and whatever is in it. A place in paradise as small as the bow or lash of one of you is better than all the world and whatever is in it. And if Ari from paradise appeared to the people of the earth, she would fill the space between heaven and the earth with light and pleasant scent, and her head cover is better than the world and whatever is in it. Bukhari. Book 4. Volume 52. Hadith 61. Narrated Anas. My uncle Anas bin Nadir was absent from the battle of Badr. He said, O Allah's Apostle, I was absent from the first battle you fought against the pagans. By Allah, if Allah gives me a chance to fight the pagans, no doubt Allah will see how bravely I will fight. On the day of Uhud, when the Muslims turned their backs and fled, he said, O Allah, I apologize to you for what these that is his companions have done, and I denounce what these that is the pagans have done. Then he advanced and Sa'd bin Mu'adh met him. He said, O Sa'd bin Mu'adh, by the Lord of Nadir, paradise, I am smelling its aroma coming from before the mountain of Uhud. Later on Sa'd said, O Allah's Apostle, I cannot achieve or do what he that is Anas bin Nadir did. We found more than 80 wounds by swords and arrows on his body. We found him dead and his body was mutilated so badly that none except his sister could recognize him by his fingers. We used to think that the following verse was revealed concerning him, and other men of his sort among the believers are men who have been true to their covenant with Allah. 33.23 his sister Arkansas Rubeah broke a front tooth of a woman, and Allah's apostle ordered for retaliation. On that Anas bin Nadir said, "O Allah's apostle, by him who has sent you with the truth, my sister's tooth shall not be broken." Then the opponents of Anas's sister accepted the compensation and gave up the claim of retaliation. So Allah's apostle said, "There are some people amongst Allah's slaves whose oaths are fulfilled by Allah when they take them." Bukhari, Book 4, Volume 52, Hadith 64. Narrated Anas bin Malik. Arkansas Rubai bin al-Bara, the mother of Harda bin Siraka, came to the Prophet and said, "O Allah's Prophet, will you tell me about Harda? Harda has been killed, that is martyred on the day of Badr with an arrow thrown by an unidentified person." She added, "If he is in paradise, I will be patient. Otherwise, I will weep bitterly for him." He said, "O mother of Harda, there are gardens in paradise and your son got the Firdaus Alayla, that is the best place in paradise." Bukhari, Book 4, Volume 52, Hadith 72. Narrated Anas bin Malik. The Prophet said, "Nobody who enters paradise likes to go back to the world even if he got everything on the earth, except a mujahid wishes to return to the world so that he may be martyred 10 times because of the dignity he receives from Allah." Narrated Al-Mu'ira bin Shuba. Our Prophet told us about the message of our Lord that whoever amongst us is killed will go to paradise. Umar asked the Prophet, "Is it not true that our men who are killed will go to paradise and theirs, that is those of the pagans, will go to the hellfire?" The Prophet said, "Yes." Bukhari, Book 4, Volume 52, Hadith 73. Narrated Abdullah bin Abi Awfa. Allah's apostle said, "Know that paradise is under the shades of swords." Bukhari, Book 4, Volume 52, Hadith 94. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "Whoever spends 2 things in Allah's cause, will be called by all the gate keepers of paradise, who will be saying, 'O so and so, come here.'" Abu Bakr said, "O Allah's apostle, such persons will never be destroyed." The Prophet said, "I hope you will be one of them." Bukhari, Book 4, Volume 52, Hadith 137. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "Let the slave of dinar and dirham, of quantify and kamisa, that is money and luxurious clothes, perish, for he is pleased if these things are given to him, and if not, he is displeased." Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, "Let the slave of dinar and dirham, of quantify and kamisa, perish, as he is pleased if these things are given to him, and if not, he is displeased. Let such a person perish and relapse, and if he is pierced with a thorn, let him not find anyone to take it out for him. Paradise is for him who holds the reins of his horse to strive in Allah's cause, with his hair unkempt and feet covered with dust. If he is appointed in the vanguard, he is perfectly satisfied with his post of guarding, and if he is appointed in the rearward, he accepts his post with satisfaction. He is so simple and unambiguous that if he asks for permission he is not permitted, and if he intercedes, his intercession is not accepted." Bukhari, Book 4, Volume 52, Hadith 142. Narrated Sal bin Sa'd as-Sa'di. Allah's apostle said, "To guard Muslims from infidels in Allah's cause for one day is better than the world and whatever is on its surface. And a place in paradise as small as that occupied by the whip of one of you is better than the world and whatever is on its surface. And a morning's or an evening's journey which a slave person travels in Allah's cause is better than the world and whatever is on its surface." Bukhari, Book 4, Volume 52, Hadith 137. Narrated Sahl bin Sa'd as-Sa'idi. Allah's apostle and the pagans faced each other and started fighting. When Allah's apostle returned to his camp and when the pagans returned to their camp, somebody talked about a man amongst the companions of Allah's apostle who would follow and kill with his sword any pagan going alone. He said, "Nobody did his job that is fighting so properly today as that man." Allah's apostle said, "Indeed, he is amongst the people of the hellfire." A man amongst the people said, "I shall accompany him to watch what he does." Thus he accompanied him, and wherever he stood, he would stand with him, and wherever he ran, he would run with him. Then the brave man got wounded seriously and he decided to bring about his death quickly. He planted the blade of the sword in the ground, directing its sharp end towards his chest between his two breasts. Then he leaned on the sword and killed himself. The other man came to Allah's apostle and said, "I testify that you are Allah's apostle." The Prophet asked, "What has happened?" He replied, "It is about the man whom you had described as one of the people of the hellfire." The people were greatly surprised at what you said, and I said, "I will find out his reality for you." So, I came out seeking him. He got severely wounded, and hastened to die by slanting the blade of his sword in the ground, directing its sharp end towards his chest between his two breasts. Then he eased on his sword and killed himself. When Allah's apostle said, "A man may seem to the people as if he were practicing the deeds of the people of paradise, while in fact he's from the people of the hellfire. Another may seem to the people as if he were practicing the deeds of the people of hellfire, while in fact he's from the people of paradise." Bukhari. Book 4. Volume 52. Hadith 175. Narrated Khalid bin Maiden. That Umar bin al-Aswad al-Anasi told him that he went to abode bin Samit while he was staying in his house at the seashore of Hims with his wife Haram. Umar said, Haram informed us that she heard the Prophet saying, "Paradise is granted to the first batch of my followers who will undertake a naval expedition." Haram added, "I said, O Allah's apostle, will I be amongst them?" He replied, "You are amongst them." The Prophet then said, "The first army amongst my followers who will invade Caesar's city will be forgiven their sins." I asked, "Will I be one of them, O Allah's apostle?" He replied in the negative. Bukhari. Book 4. Volume 52. Hadith 204. Narrated Abu Hurairah. That heard Allah's apostle saying, "We are the last but will be the foremost to enter paradise." The Prophet added, "He who obeys me, obeys Allah, and he who disobeys me, disobeys Allah. He who obeys the chief, obeys me, and he who disobeys the chief, disobeys me." The Imam is like a shelter for whose safety the Muslims should fight and where they should seek protection. If the Imam orders people with righteousness and rules justly, then he will be rewarded for that, and if he does the opposite, he will be responsible for that. Bukhari. Book 4. Volume 52. Hadith 210. Narrated Salim Abu an-Nadir. The freed slave of Umar bin Ubaydullah who was Umar's clerk Abdullah bin Abi Awfa wrote him that is, Umar a letter that contained the following. Once Allah's apostle during a holy battle, waited till the sun had declined and then he got up among the people and said, "O people, do not wish to face the enemy in a battle and ask Allah to save you from calamities, but if you should face the enemy, then be patient and let it be known to you that paradise is under the shades of swords." He then said, "O Allah, the revealer of the holy book, the mover of the clouds, and defeater of Al-Ahzab, that is the clans of infidels, defeat them infidels and bestow victory upon us." Bukhari. Book 4. Volume 52. Hadith 254. Narrated Abu Hurairah. The Prophet said, Allah wonders at those people who will enter paradise in chains. Bukhari. Book 4. Volume 52. Hadith 297. Narrated Abu Hurairah. We were in the company of Allah's Apostle in the Ghazwa, and he remarked about a man who claimed to be a Muslim, saying, "This man is from the people of the hellfire." When the battle started, the man fought violently till he got wounded. Somebody said, "O Allah's Apostle, the man whom you described as being from the people of the hellfire fought violently today and died." The Prophet said, "He will go to the hellfire." Some people were on the point of doubting the truth of what the Prophet had said while they were in this state. Suddenly someone said that he was still alive but severely wounded. When night fell, he lost patience and committed suicide. The Prophet was informed of that, and he said, "Allah is greater. I testify that I am Allah's slave and his apostle." Then he ordered Bilal to announce amongst the people, "None will enter paradise but a Muslim, and Allah may support this religion, that is Islam, even with a disobedient man."